In this video, we're going to talk about function notation. So question 11 says if f of x equals x plus 2, how do you find f of 5? The parentheses in function notation tell you what you're plugging in for the variable. So the 5 that's here in parentheses tells me that I'm going to plug in 5 for x. Function notation does not use parentheses to mean multiplication. So this isn't f times x. It's telling you that x is a variable that we're plugging in for. And if we have a number, that number is what we're plugging in. So we would plug 5 in for x. So now we're going to find each for the function x squared plus 3x plus 5 equals f of x. So f of 2 means that we plug in 2 for x. So I'm going to replace each x in the function with the number 2, and then I'm going to simplify. So f of 2, I would plug 2 in for x here, so 2 squared plus 3 times 2 plus 5. 2 squared is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 plus 6 plus 5 is 15. So when I plug in a number and there's no other variables in the function, then I'm going to get a number out of the function. For part B, it's going to be a little more complicated. Now I'm plugging in x plus 3, and I have a hint here that tells me that I will need to use FOIL. So I'm going to write this one over here on the side because it's going to take me a little bit more space. I am replacing each x in my function with x plus 3. And when I do that, I need to plug it in parentheses because, for example, when I have x plus 3 squared, I want the whole thing to be squared, not just the 3. So I'm plugging in x plus 3 for x. That's going to give me 3 times x plus 3. Again, I am writing it in parentheses, and then I have a plus 5. So now I need to do some work to simplify this. When I have x plus 3 squared, remember that that means that you're doing x plus 3 times x plus 3. It's not just x squared plus 9 squared. For the second one here, this 3 on the outside can be distributed to inside of the parentheses, and that's going to give me 3x plus 9. And then I have this plus 5 that I'm just going to carry down. Now this is what I'm going to use FOIL on. That's going to give me x squared, x times x. Outside is 3x. Inside is also 3x. And last is 3 times 3, which is 9. Then I have plus 3x. I'm going to combine this 9 and 5 to get plus 14. And lastly, combining everything together that goes together here, I have an x squared. I have 3x, 3x, and 3x. That's a total of 9 x's. And I have 9 plus 14, which is 23. So this is my answer here for f of x plus 3. Looking at part C, this one is f of negative x. That means I'm going to replace each f in my function with a negative x. So what's going to happen when I do that is I'm going to have negative x squared plus 3 times negative x plus 5. Now with negative x squared, if I have an x, say that x is 5, I make it negative, negative 5. Negative 5 squared is positive 25. So the negative sign here, when I square it, is just going to go away because negative times negative is positive. So that's just going to be x squared. Now with this negative, 3 times negative x, that's going to change to minus 3x. And then I have my plus 5. So this is very similar to my original function. The negative on the x went away because I was squaring, The only difference is that instead of plus 3x, I have a minus 3x here. Let's look at number 13. A company that manufactures bicycles has a fixed cost of $100,000. It costs $100 to produce each bicycle. The total cost for the company is the sum of its fixed cost and variable costs. Write the total cost as a function of the number of bicycles produced, x. So, x is the number of bicycles. We have fixed costs of $100,000. So that is an amount that we are going to have to pay regardless of how many bicycles are produced. Usually includes things like rent, where we have to pay them regardless of how many bicycles we're producing. It costs $100 to produce each bicycle, so that cost could be labor, parts, those kinds of things. So the number of bicycles produced is going to be multiplied by how much it costs to produce each bicycle. So if I make 5 bicycles, it's going to cost $500. 8 bicycles would cost $800, etc. So adding to my fixed cost is going to be additional costs of 100 times x. So the per bicycle cost is multiplied by the number of bicycles produced. The fixed cost is not multiplied by the number of bicycles produced. So now we want to find C of 90. So that means that we are plugging 90 in for x. So 100,000 plus 100 times 90. And when you multiply 100 times 90, you get 9,000. So my cost is $109,000. And finally, we're going to complete the sentence. It costs blank to produce blank bicycles. So using our answer in part B, what we found here is that for 90 bicycles, right, our x is our number of bicycles produced. So when we plugged in 90, we got $109,000. So it costs $90 to produce, it costs $109,000 to produce 90 bicycles.